I've heard of NLP from time to time, right? I've heard of people talk to me about NLP, recommending that I attend NLP courses to learn how to influence people, how to be a better communicator throughout my corporate career.
It was a really conscious decision to actually change career, but for a long time I didn't know what I wanted. I was blessed in many ways. I had a great life by many standards. I was also happy, and yet I really felt I had a weight on my shoulder. I felt I was really longing for something different and I had no idea what it was. And if someone could ask me or were to ask me what it was, it really made me angry, or I felt really overwhelmed. I had no idea what else I could do. I felt completely stuck. I felt really guilty to feel this way because I had so many things that were going well.
So I had my own healing journey, and I struggled with a couple of issues, and I decided to go and hire a coach for myself because it was like the fad thing to do at the time. and everything changed in my life, and I was kind of like fascinated as to why this worked. So I then decided to study what I was taught, and before you know it, I became a coach.
I was taking an NLP course to just try to deal with some of the stuff that was going on in my own life. And so for me, it was just like a personal journey. Now, it just so happens that I sort of took to neuro-linguistic programming a lot. And then by the end of my course, the students in my class hired me. And then their friends and family hired me. And then all of a sudden, I had a coaching business. And it's been really great because I have really found what I truly get excited about, like getting up in the morning and being really grateful and really happy to get to work and do stuff.
Well, I had a nice corporate career, a nice salary, but well, there was something that was just not congruent with me. So when this friend of mine talked about NLP, I was like, hey, that's it. This is what I want to do right now for myself.
So NLP is the elder one in the hands of a coach. It is the most powerful tool, and it has the ability to perform tremendous feat of magic on the client.
Because I do hang out with people from different coaching communities and all that, and the whole idea of because there are different frameworks for ICF and all that, different competencies and all that, which are awesome. Just that with all these competencies, how do they translate into reality? That's the thing that I feel is still subjective for their map of the world, as compared to NLP where there are systems in place and there are language patterns in place, and the questioning pattern, like complex equivalence, if people equate something, A equate A with B, I can simply ask a kind of question to unstuck that person.
Well, I think when I decided to be a coach, I looked around, and what I realized is that all the great coaches who I admired the most, and my favorite speakers and even authors, had one thing in common. They all did NLP. And so when it came to deciding what coaching program to do, I knew I had to do NLP.
I was in the finance industry for about 18 years, and I held various leadership positions where one of my roles was to coach and mentor my team. And I absolutely loved that. But something was missing, so I went through a journey of self-discovery and personal development, which eventually leads to me realizing that I would like to do the coaching part as my job.
When you learn NLP, it's like buying that first aid box and learning what's in that box and how you can use all the stuff in that first aid box for the different problems or situations that you face. So I would say that I use that metaphor because you need to learn what's in that box, how to use that box on yourself before you use it on other people.
What NLP has given me is, it has given me a structure to view various situations. Whether I'm actively coaching somebody or not, it has given me a way to see the human experience and interaction that allows me to step into a very objective space, where earlier there would have been times when I would have also had my own agenda and kind of ended up being one of the pawns on the chessboard. I can kind of step out now and really sort of see it lying there And it's given me pause between the event, the situation, and my response, because the choice is back in my hands. And I think that's one of the most amazing things that's happened through NLP.
And so I think circumstantially, life is full of ups and downs, but how we handle it and how we choose to handle it is really up to us. And NLP gives you that framework, which gives you the options on how you choose to handle life situations.
I was talking to my own coach and I said, I feel like I have the ABCs, I have the letters, but it doesn't seem to be coming together in any way. I can make sentences and write stories. So there's something missing here within the structure of an actual coaching session. And he pointed me to NLP. And he himself was an NLP coach. So one of the only things that he told me very clearly was make sure you go for a face-to-face program and that you really invest, the full time that you need to, because NLP is about imbibing the skills.
NLP is about creating change in someone using their own internal resources. And there is this NLP presupposition: people have all the resources that they need. And the effects of those changes, right, through NLP is lasting because it hits people right at the subconscious level.
I think there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach for being a coach. We have a framework and we fit the framework into what the person needs. That's the hardest part, but it's also the most special part because that's why it works. And that's what makes coaching unique and special.
I believe every individual on this planet has this inner power and potential within themselves. They might just be stuck temporarily, maybe like in the tunnel, and they need help to get out of that tunnel before they see the light. So because of this, I see myself as that guide to help people find their path out of the tunnel and then create a new path afterwards.
It's from an HR practitioner standpoint, I've seen it become so important now because there's two areas that we've internally talked about as well, which is managing clarity. That's where do you focus, what do you focus on, how do you prioritize, and managing connections, the emotional landscape that people are going through and the motivational ups and downs that they have. The first one's always been well known in the business world. The second one is something that's coming more and more to the fore when you think about a whole leader, when you think about a leader who can lead in every situation. Managing those emotional energies and managing the motivation becomes quite critical, and HR plays a really important part in helping our leaders develop those skill sets. As a coach, that's what we can do.
There are times when we may feel stuck in some sense. And as a coach, I feel so excited whenever I see someone moving with the same rhythm but with aliveness, and that's precisely what coaching is for me.
The hardest part would be that we are not saints, and neither do we want to be. I think there's sometimes this feedback from people that a coach is supposed to make changes. I see myself as the guide who will show the way, but for a change to occur in the client's life, the client has to put in the effort and the commitment to make the change.
Yeah, between hearing these aha moments in the client and having this privilege of being invited on a person's journey, well, I find it hard to say which is better. Yeah, both are equally great for me. Yeah.
That moment when you sit with someone and that person realizes that they no longer have an issue that they've struggled with for many years, and that feeling of freedom or joy that they feel, that's the best part about being a coach.
So Sid Banks had once said, it's not the number of seeds in an apple, it's actually the number of apples in a seed, which can't be measured. And that potential, being able to see that come to life for somebody and for them to find their life's purpose, that for me is the best part of being a coach.
And I think more importantly for me is the thought process of what happens for that person and the rest of their community, the rest of their family, the rest of their organization. Because when that person transforms, people transform around that person. And everybody starts becoming better. And I think that person who's been guided then becomes the guide.
I mean, helping people to have the best life they can and be the best version of themselves. And for me, working continuously on growing doesn't feel like a job.